All right. All right. Welcome back, guys. You guys asked. We are here to answer. Main question we were getting a lot from our last video was what are the 7 functional movement patterns? So we're going to discuss that now. Do you want to start off with a couple and then I can go back and forth working in tandem?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'll just list them off.
Let's go.
And then we'll break each one down.
Let's do it.
So your 7 functional movement patterns are a squat, a press, a pull, single leg, hip hinge, core or rotation, and then also a gait or carry.
Gait, G-A-I-T.
Yeah, not like a cattle gate. Go ahead.
So then, all right, so let's talk with a squat. Squat's pretty common, right? Anytime you're going to sit down, stand up, that's going to be one of that main movement pattern. We go into a hinge. A hinge is going to be anytime, let's say you drop your keys and you just bend forward, butt goes back, chest coming forward. It's not a squat, right? You're hinging at the waist right through there. So that's your hinge one. What do we have next? Push?
Yep, so your pushing motion is going to be, like a dumbbell press or an overhead press, something like that, and direct correlation to, think about taking a stack of plates and putting them on the top shelf. Another thing would be your single leg motion or your lunge. You think about how many times a day you're changing elevation surfaces and you're stepping forward with one foot, up onto a curb or up steps or something like that.
Yeah.
Direct carry over there too.
Yes, and then we go into our pull motion and kind of caveating off on the push with the pull. You do have a horizontal and a vertical directional, and that's what you talked about with the push would be more of that horizontal and then a vertical push, like you said, the overhead. Same concept, but reverse with a pull. If I'm going into a vertical pull, a pull up would be that. And then if I'm going into a horizontal, a bent over row, targeting those rhomboids, posterior delt range of motion, and those lats are going to be your main focus there. And so that's your pulling motions. What else we got here? Rotation.
Yep, core
rotation. We move around this in a lot of functions, whether you're golf swinging, if you're running, you're speed walking, anytime you're creating that rotation from like that pelvic to that rib cage and that transverse plane of motion, that's where your rotation is going to come in play. And we rarely move outside of that unless like we're just being intentional about that.
The last of the 7 functional movements is a gait or a carry. So you think about like carrying groceries, or even if you're pushing something or pulling something, it's the constant movement and resistance, between your hips, your cross pattern, and then also with a suitcase carry or a farmer's carry, something like that, we're also working on your grip strength.
Yes.
In my honest opinion, I think the gait or carries are probably some of the most overlooked movements and probably some of the most valuable movements you can do.
For sure. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, especially with a newborn, carrying that car seat. Like gait, core control, forearm strength. Like, I'm glad I work on the farmer's carries in here. I'm glad I do stuff along those lines of that control. And then grocery trips, like you talked about. Like, we're always shopping. We're always doing stuff like that. You will always have a gait in your life unless you are sedentary or wheelchair bound.
Yeah. Very rarely are you walking without anything in your hands or something on your shoulder, or even pushing something, pushing a shopping cart or a wagon. I mean, think about pushing a wagon through the sand on the beach. Like, that is pretty critical, especially if you want to get to the sun and the beach.
But, yes, for sure. Well, those are your 7 movement patterns. Stay tuned for our next video where we're going to cover some other questions that were asked. Ask away, and then we'll just keep answering as much as we can for you guys. Thank you.